Let's get ready for your compound movement, dumbbell, resistance band, and step muscle building strength workout with a core burnout. So this workout brings you 7 different compound movement exercises with a 75-second on work interval and 20 seconds rest in between to get set up for exercises. So by compound movement, I mean we're doing functional movements where we have a squat with a row and that pull apart and squeeze. Now, these are movements that we do day to day because we don't normally just squat in day-to-day life. We're normally using multiple muscle groups. Modifications are provided if you don't have a step or resistance bands. All else fails, please pause here. Get your personalized kinetic balance warm up in to protect you from injuries, prevent pain. We listen to those tones. Our first 1 minute is going to be spent discussing these movement patterns. All right, so make sure you got that warm up in. Our first exercise is going to be a banded step up with a shoulder press. So we start with that band underneath your front foot. We're gonna bring that band to your shoulders. We're gonna shift our body weight over that leg for that step up, and then we push that band overhead for a shoulder press. All right, nice, slow, controlled down. If we don't have a step and we have resistance band, we can do a lunge, stand up, and then that press overhead. Nice, slow, controlled movements, keeping those shoulders down and back. We can switch legs halfway through, or you can do all of the repetitions on one leg this round, and then all of the repetitions on the other leg in the next round. 7 seconds, we're gonna hear that tone. That means our first 75-second work interval is beginning. Now, we start with those feet hip width apart. Our second toe is pointed straight ahead. We wanna make sure that as we perform this step up, our toes, knees, and hips are in a nice straight line. If balance is a challenge for us, we can simply step up, squeeze those glutes, tap those toes down, and then push overhead. It's also important to note that if you don't have a resistance band, you can perform this same movement pattern simply using dumbbells, all right? What's most important here is I'm gonna turn to the side. I want you to see that as I push overhead, my shoulders, hips, and ears are all in a nice straight line. So I call this a stacked position. Nice and controlled. I'm staying on the same leg this entire round. And we're gonna remember which leg we did. As we push overhead, we stay tall and long. We're squeezing those glutes. We're already down to 10 seconds. We're aiming for 8 to 12 repetitions as this is that muscle building range. All right. Beautiful work. Shake it out. You've got 20 seconds. Our next exercise is a squat with a banded pull apart. This was the one I demonstrated. So feet are hip width apart. We're gonna sit those hips down and back like we're sitting in a chair, stand up, and we pull apart and squeeze right to the base of those ribs. Here we go. Come with me. So we have 75 seconds here to get 8 to 12 repetitions. That means we have plenty of time to focus on good form and position. Now, when we squat, it's easy to bring our feet too wide. We want the toes, that second toe, pointed forward in line with the middle of our knee, in line with our bony hips. That is not the widest part of our hips. That's actually those hip bones. As we sit those hips down and back, we keep that chest up nice and tall, a neutral spine position, so that's a little bit of an arch. We don't want to sit so deep that our hips tuck under. So I don't want you to sit down so that we round that back. As we stand up, we squeeze the bum, pull that band towards that chest, bend those arms, and feel that engaging the outside of those armpits. We stay nice and long and tall through the crown of that head. Exhale. As we pull apart and squeeze, and oh baby, do we feel it working. 10 seconds. Complete those repetitions. Nice and controlled, finishing strong. 20-second breather. Now we're gonna move to legs and we're gonna grab our dumbbells. So we are gonna go to a lunge, to a lateral step up. So we stand off to the side of our step. We bring the inside leg down and back for our lunge. Then when we stand up, we put that foot up on our step, shift our body weight over to a lateral step up. Nice, slow, and controlled. All right, so 2 parts here. If you do not have a step, you're gonna go down into a lunge, up into a balance, out to the side to a lateral lunge, back up into balance, all right? Here we go. Down, our feet are hip width apart. I feel all 5 toes pushing into the floor when I step back into that lunge. I'm staying nice and long and tall through the crown of my head. I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see my body position in my lunge here. As I go down, notice I have a slight incline over that front leg, almost as if I'm reaching my hands towards my front foot. I'm not rounding my back though. This allows me to engage those glutes a little bit more. All right, you'll notice that when we keep those feet in a hip width position in that lunge, we're gonna be nice and balanced. We're already down to 10 seconds. And listen, we are working both legs in this position. That heart rate's gonna climb and the arms are gonna get tired. All right, our next exercise to break up those legs is to come down to the floor. We're gonna do a glute bridge to a declined close press. So, dumbbells on those thighs, we lie back, palms are facing. We're gonna lift those hips up. Come with me, here we go, lips up. Press those dumbbells up and together over top of that body, and then hips back down. So hips up, glutes tight, belly button in. Then we press those dumbbells up over our chest towards the ceiling. Exhale as we push up and squeeze. Nice, slow, controlled down. My wrists are stacked right over top of my elbows. As I bend my elbows, my arms are about 30 to 45 degrees from my body, which really means that the dumbbells are just right in the middle of my chest. We want to make sure that we're performing these movements nice and controlled. It's easy here to rush. The slow, controlled movement down is really where we're challenging those muscles to control. We get those micro tears in the muscle, which allows our muscles to heal and grow. This may or may not result in muscle soreness. 7 seconds for the finish. We should be feeling that chest, shoulders, and back of those arms burning. Enjoy that 20-second breather. We're going to back to that lateral lunge with that lunge with that lateral step up. So opposite legs this time, all right? Last heavy movement before we go to our recovery exercises and finish our first circuit. So inside leg, down and back into a lunge, up into a balance, shift that body weight over that leg for that step up. Now, if you don't have that step, don't forget, you can do a lateral lunge with a regular set of stairs, or on the floor if you don't have a step. But you can also do this on a regular set of stairs. Notice in that lateral step up that I shift my body weight over top of my leg. This stacks my toes, knees, and hips. Whoop, and sometimes you lose your balance. Again, we get that slightly forward lean on that body. Every time I come up into out of the lunge or out of that step up, I'm squeezing my glutes. I'm controlled. I'm purposeful. My whole foot is supported by that step. And I'm engaging lots of big muscle groups. My heart rate is climbing. I'm focusing on hip width apart, 3 seconds to the finish. There you have it. Now we are finishing with what I call a single leg balance with a walking leg and a cobra. This does involve a resistance band, but you can do it without a resistance band. You could use a light weight instead. We're gonna balance on one leg. We're gonna tap our toes behind. That leg is gonna then swing forward to a heel in front. We come up into balance, and then we pull into that resistance band. palm rotates up as if we're pointing our thumb behind us. So 3 parts, tap the toes, tap the heel, balance, pull into that band, rotating that palm up. All right, so as we tap, what we're focusing on is we're not letting those hips sway. So I'm gonna come closer so you can see as I tap my toe, my heel forward, I'm not reaching. All right, meaning I'm not swaying my hip out to the side to reach forward. I'm simply tapping only as far as it can go, heel in front, flexing my foot, pulling into that band. I'm going to show you from the side now. I want you to notice my chin is tucked, my head is back. I'm not reaching very far as I tap that foot. So I'm really feeling this in the hip of my balance leg, my glute. It also goes all the way down the outside of my leg. 5 seconds. Beautiful work. Shake it out. Guess what? We're doing the other side. All right, so shake out the arms, shake out the leg. We're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. This movement actually works a bunch of things. It's not something that you might do day to day, but it's really gonna improve your walking position and your posture. So we're gonna switch sides. So opposite foot on the floor, tap those toes behind, heel in front, balance, pull into that resistance band, rotating that palm up. Now that cobra, we rotate the thumb, we rotate the palm so it faces up. We point the thumb behind us. We're gonna feel this working right at the base of this shoulder blade, okay? So again with the posture, chin tucked, head back, chest up tall, belly button in. A lot of little things to remember here. Working on that balance and control, feeling this engage along the back side of that shoulder blade right at the base here and right across the top here. These muscles are really important for good posture and good shoulder position, good shoulder movement. They tend to be very weak, which is why one side might feel harder than the other, whether it's on the balance leg in that hip or in this external rotation. But guess what, guys? 4 seconds. Yes. And that is already round number 1. Shake out those legs. Do you remember which leg you did for your very first exercise? That step up with that resistance band shoulder press. If you don't have a resistance band, you're doing it with dumbbells. And if you don't have a step, you've got a lunge. We're gonna switch feet this time. Band comes to the shoulders. Shift that body weight forward, step it up. And then that press overhead. Really important that we notice those shoulders stay down and back. You may feel a stretch along the outside of those armpits. If you feel like your shoulders are shrugging up towards your ears like this, closing that shoulder gap, simply bring that band down. You can even go to a lighter weight band. All right, you can go to a lighter weight band and do the shoulder press, or you can go to a lighter weight band and do what's called a scaption. Thumbs pointed up and really focus on feeling the shoulders staying down and back, okay? We don't want the shoulders coming up towards the ears. We want to feel them squeezing down, and we need to train the shoulder blades to do that. If you're not feeling those shoulder blades rotate, which feels like a stretch on the outside of those armpits, reach out to me and we can work on it together. 9 seconds. Glutes tight, belly button in. We don't want to be arching as we push overhead. There you have it. Last time through that one. We're going to go to that squat with that banded pull apart. Now, if you don't have a resistance band on this one, there's a couple of options. You can get a tea towel, all right, and pull in that tension on that tea towel, all right, for that row. Here we go. Sit those hips down and back. Remember, our feet are hip width apart. This is not as wide as our hips are. This is our bony front hips. All right, so we should be in a nice straight line. Second toe pointed forward. Check those feet. Our feet like to turn out a little bit, and it might be just one of them, But check those feet. When our feet turn out or we go wide in a squat, it would be the same thing as me letting you squat and letting those knees go in. Okay, that's how our bones perceive that movement, how our joints perceive that movement. That movement, bringing those knees in, puts a lot of torque and pull on our ligaments and tendons. It also presses our bones into a variety of different capsules, those cushions in our joints. And when those wear down, can lead to things like osteoarthritis. 12 seconds. So good movement patterns can help longevity, can help reduce pain. 5 seconds. Long and tall, feeling that work in those glutes. Oh, baby. My back is burning, guys. We are back to that lunge with that lateral step up. No step, no worries. Go for that lunge with a lateral lunge. Bend those knees to pick up those weights. Off to the side of that step or set of stairs. We go down and back with that inside leg. Shift that body weight over for that lateral step up. Nice, slow and controlled here. Focusing on form and balance. These lateral movements are really, really important for our ankle, knee, and hip stability, which is really vital for back pain and stability. Okay, so nice and controlled, big up and squeeze, shift it over, aiming for those 8 to 12 repetitions. Remember, we're actually working both legs on this one, so we are going to feel that increase in heart rate as we challenge our body. Embrace that challenge. It's what got you started today, and when things get tough, you need to remember why you got started, why you pushed through that discomfort. All the way down to 7 seconds. We're not coming back to this one. Beautiful work. You can move that step off to the side. We've got that declined or that glute bridge to a declined close press. So important thing to note as you get into position here. Dumbbells vertical on those thighs. Lie back, bend those knees. You're all loaded up. Hips up. Press those dumbbells up and together. Nice, slow, controlled back down with the arms, and then back down with those hips. You'll notice that you can actually lift heavier weights, a little bit heavier. I'm talking like 2.5 to 5 pounds heavier in this declined position. All right. It's a little bit easier because it's less shoulders as we press those dumbbells up over our chest than per se from a floor or a bench position. Glutes tight, belly button in. If you have any back pain here, go ahead and do the glute bridge, but then do that chest press from on the floor. That can reduce some of that tension on that core. Now, if you have no pain, it's great to be practicing this stability through that core, engaging those glutes, supporting the spine with a gentle pull in. We're down to 10 seconds, guys. That's only 2 repetitions. 1 or 2. Beautiful work. One more heavy exercise here. We've got that lunge to step up with that opposite leg. All right. Bend those knees to pick them up. Get ready. That heart rate's going to climb since we were off the floor. Here we go. Down and back for that lunge. Feel all 5 of those toes pushing into the floor with those feet hip width apart. Now, if you don't have a mirror to check in on yourself, go ahead and use your movie, right? Your video camera, either on your phone or on a computer, and use that as a mirror to check in on yourself. For your lunge, you should look as if you're doing a squat. All right, nice and even through both of those feet. It looks like a squat on one leg with the kickstand on the other leg. That range of motion can vary. Not everybody is going to go 90 degrees down. This should be a pain-free range of motion, all right? And even with using those dumbbells, we work up wherever we are on our journey, okay? So whether you're starting today at body weight or you're chugging along with a personal record of 25 pounds in each hand, okay? This workout meets you where you are, but I ask that you challenge yourself wherever you are today. And there you have it. Heavy movements done. Put those dumbbells back safely. Move that step off to the side. We're gonna go to that walking leg with that cobra. Now I'm starting on the opposite side today, or this round. So I'm balancing on my right leg, tapping my left toes, heels, balance, pull into that resistance band. Rotating that thumb up towards the ceiling. Remembering we're long and tall through the crown of our head. Our chin is tucked, our head is back. Think about whenever you were little and you had to get measured, right? You had to stand up tall, press your head up against the wall. That's what I want you to do. That's good, tall posture. And that's where we should be right now. We should be proud of all of our hard work. These last two exercises are recovery. They're also corrective exercises. Exercises that aren't super strenuous, but focus in on very specific muscle groups that tend to get weak, all right, over time because of our movement patterns. They're just not used very often. So these help correct our body movement patterns and reduce pain and prevent injury, which carry over into our workouts. We're down to 10 seconds. This is actually the hard side for me. It's my weaker hip with my weaker shoulder. We tend to have this cross-body pattern. Shake it out. Oh my goodness. That whole hip is gonna burn. It's gonna go all the way down into that calf as we support those feet in good, proper position. In 8 seconds, we're switching to the left side. And guys, this is it. This is your strength workout before we hit a core burnout. So tapping our toes behind, heel in front, up into balance, palm rotating up towards the ceiling, pointing that thumb behind you. My core doesn't move as I pull into that band. So what I don't want to see, I don't want to see you rotating that core, okay? We only reach back as far as that arm goes. And it stops wherever it stops. That's our range of motion. But we shouldn't be arching the back, rotating the body. It's just a nice, slow, controlled movement, rotating that palm towards the ceiling. Long and tall through the crown of our head. We're already halfway through. And after this, we're gonna roll right into a 1-minute front plank. So we hit our burnout. All right, we've got 1 minute in each plank position, including a glute bridge hold to strengthen our core with short 10-second rests in between. So 4 minutes stands between you and finishing. All right, so we're gonna hit that front plank. Hands underneath the shoulders, feet hip width apart. We come up into that push-up position. Belly button pulled in, glutes tight, chin tucked and head back. Now, in this plank position on my hands, I would say this is like our middle plank ground. The hardest form is gonna be down on those elbows as we're lowest to the ground, all right? We're more towards horizontal. Now, if we're working up towards that plank, this is new. I would prefer for you to use an incline. Now, this could mean using your step or a set of stairs. A set of stairs are wonderful because you can literally walk down the steps. All right, so the lowest step is gonna be the hardest. As you go higher up on that incline, so up those stairs, for example, it's gonna get a little bit easier. The form doesn't change. Shoulders over top of those wrists, belly button in, glutes tight, already down to 2 seconds. Beautiful work. Shake it out. You have 20 seconds to breathe and prepare for your right side plank. Now these can be done on the floor or again on a step or a set of stairs. Elbow or wrist comes underneath those shoulders and we lift those hips up. Come with me. So a couple places we can put our feet. Our feet can be stacked this way or they can be slightly staggered if this feels a little bit more stable for you. Again, shoulder over those hands. We're squeezing those hips up, so I don't want to see you here. I want to see you nice and straight. It's as if we're standing, chin tucked, head back. Okay, but we're on our side. Our elbow, again, is going to be our hardest position. Okay, ideally, we're in this fully stacked straight line position. If you don't have an incline, you can come to those knees, stack those knees and come this way. You can then lift one hip, one leg onto the floor. That isn't as easy of a progression as moving up that incline. So for example, those set of stairs, all right? Each step is a little bit higher. You're already down to 5 seconds. I know we're burning. I know it's hard. And we breathe. Really feeling that work along the side of that core, even the side of that spine. We're going to take a breather on the shoulders and on the arms, and we're going to go to a glute bridge hold. So feet flat on the floor, toes are pointed straight ahead, in line with the knees, in line with the hips. We press those glutes up towards the ceiling, bum tight, belly button in. All right, shoulders are relaxed on the floor, and we simply squeeze the glutes and hold this position. Okay, now if we want to take this one up a notch, this is actually going to be your easiest form. The harder form would be coming up onto your step or set of stairs, supporting the head in the top of the shoulders and holding almost like a tabletop position here. Again, really paying attention to toes, knees, hips, nice straight line, squeezing those cheeks together and gently pulling in that belly button. You're gonna feel this one as you come up into that climb up that incline, but you're already down to 10 seconds. Squeeze those glutes, focus in, be one with your body, embrace that burn. There you have it. 1 minute left on our core burnout. We have that left plank, 60-second hold. Now, however you did this, that first round on the right side, I want you to do the same thing on the left side. All right, so up on those hands, feet are stacked or staggered. All right, we're punching that hand through the floor right underneath the shoulder. Okay, belly button in and glutes tight. We're nice and straight ahead. I know some people like to lift their arm. That's perfectly fine too. However it works and feels comfortable for you. Remember, you can come down to that elbow. This would be the harder progression as we squeeze that hip up, really feeling it engage along the outside of that body, squeezing that bum as well. And then we don't forget those modifications. We can use that step or that set of stairs, working up. We're working our way down towards the floor, even down to that elbow. That's going to really hurt because this is plastic. 10 seconds. We're long and tall through the crown of that head. Try not to get crunched up. We're strong, we're powerful, and we are finished with your strength workout. Whew. Big sigh of relief. Get a quick drink and then join me for a targeted stretch. I'm actually going to start with a stretch that can use a set of stairs or your stepper. All right. This is for our inner back thigh or deep groin muscles. We're going to step one foot up on the stepper so that the heel on the step is in line with the toes on the floor. Whole foot is nice and flat. We're going to squeeze the bum, tucking those hips under, and we're going to press that knee away from the body. If you don't have a step, you can actually do this on the floor. It's called a sleeper stretch with the knee out to the side. And same thing, just squeezing the bum towards the floor, feeling a deep stretch through the inside back of that thigh. I like to do this exercise whenever I have a step because it is a muscle group. are a muscle that has a tendency to get tight in a lot of people. So if you ever get like deep muscle soreness on the inside back of that thigh, go ahead and do this. It's called the Captain Morgan or the sleeper stretch. It's a great way to stretch that posterior adductor magnus out and even help alleviate some SI joint pain. Go ahead and switch sides. I always try to hold our stretches for 30 seconds to 30 to 45 seconds, okay? If you feel like you need longer, please stay in that stretch position, all right? Remember, we're squeezing the bum and pressing that knee out so it stays stacked over that knee on the step. Oh, it feels really good on this side. Also, making a mental note of which side feels tight. It's normal. We are asymmetrical people. Most of us are right-handed or left-handed, which means we use one side of our body just a little bit more. All right, we're gonna come down to the floor and do my favorite hip flexor stretch. So blanket knee pad or pillow underneath that back knee. Our back foot is flexed. We're going to squeeze the bum, tucking those hips under. We can then reach up towards the ceiling or even add a small lean to the side. This gives us a great stretch through the front of the hip, down into that thigh. These are muscles that tend to get used whether we are sedentary or whether we are super active, and they tend to cause a lot of pain in the low back as well as the knee and the hips. All right, so nice big stretch for our hip flexors and our quads. When we no longer feel that stretching sensation, we're gonna go ahead and switch sides. You're gonna hear a tone here, but we're gonna stay here just a few more minutes. Nice reach up over, enjoying that stretching sensation. This one just feels so good, whether it's in the middle of the day or after a long day of sitting or movement. It's a really, really great stretch for those hips and thighs. Beautiful work. All right, we're gonna come down to a child's pose. Toes together, knees wide. We're gonna reach our hands away from our body. As we do so, we wanna roll the shoulders down and back away from those ears. As we sit those hips towards those heels and we press that chest towards the floor, we're gonna feel a nice big stretch through the outside of those armpits. Take a nice big deep breath in. Inhale, expand the belly, expand the ribs. Exhale. Press that chest towards the floor. Nice big stretch, big deep breath in. Exhale. Beautiful work. If you feel any kind of pain in the back of those knees here, please go ahead and come up to a higher step with those hands and sit those hips down and back. We still want to try to get around in that low back. And we still want to press that chest towards the floor. Get that nice big stretch to the outside of those armpits. One last one for the finish. We're going to kick out our hamstrings since we did our legs the most in this compound movement exercise workout. So we're going to lie down on the floor, both legs nice and straight. We're going to bend one knee and take the opposite hand. It reaches around the front of our leg and grabs the outside back. And then we're going to kick like we're kicking a ball over the opposite shoulder and release it back down. So nice, slow, controlled kicks, relaxing that leg back down. As we kick up, we're going to feel that stretch through the outside of that thigh, potentially down into that calf, and then relax it back down. We're also going to feel like the front of our thigh is working. As you feel the front of that thigh working and that back of that thigh stretching, hopefully you feel that that stretching sensation calms down. So it's actually our brain talking to our hamstrings and saying, calm down. So if you're somebody that gets a lot of hamstring soreness or hamstring cramps, this is a great stretch for you to actually calm those hamstrings down. Calming our hamstrings, go ahead and switch sides, is a great way to help reduce patterns and pain in the feet, knees, hips, and back. So we really want those hamstrings to calm down. They do have a propensity to be overactive And these can lead to a lot of different patterns and a lot of pain and injury. So keep those hamstrings calm, which helps improve our glute activation, which helps improve stability and balance through our ankles, knees, hips, and our low back. Beautiful work today. I hope you feel strong in these movement patterns. You feel confident and empowered by your hard work today. It's my pleasure being part of your journey, but I'm always wanting to learn and grow. So please provide me your feedback with your thoughts on my instruction, on the video, on the exercises, what you liked, what you didn't like. And I'll take that feedback so that I can make my content even better for you all. So keep up the great work. Embrace the challenges that are ahead of you today, knowing that you worked on your health, your fitness, and your goals. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again next time.